Voluntary simplicity is a natural outcome of this feeling of oneness and fullness in life. Some of these things would be repeated because at different contexts we are talking about simplicity, different contexts we are talking about this oneness. It is not reached as a goal, but as one approaches the true meaning of life. नाहीतर मुद्दाम सिम्प्लिसिटी करायची म्हणून you don't go towards that, but it simplicity happens when you go closer to the true meaning of life. With true voluntary simplicity, a rich life is no longer equated with the possession of. I read a beautiful book in my long back, about 40-50 years back. It's called a book called Waste Makers by Vance Packard. He has written 2-3 books, The Status Seekers, The Waste Makers. And in that book, he dedicates to his parents. And in the beginning, he writes, I dedicate this book to my parents who did not confuse a good life with the number of goods they had. Wow. Very, very simple. They did not confuse a good life with the number of goods they had. So that is what simplicity is, you know. That's been one of my mantras, focus and simplicity. This is said by Steve Jobs of Apple. That's been one of my mantras, focus and simplicity. Simple can be harder than complex. Just think of it. To make something simple is very more difficult than just going with the complex. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. But it's worth it. And in the end, worth it. In the end, because once you get there, you can move mountains. This is by Steve Jobs. It is the essence of genius to make use of the simplest ideas. I have Lao Tzu, again we talked about Lao Tzu yesterday, the famous, the old Chinese saint. I have just 3 things to teach: simplicity, patience, compassion. These 3 are your greatest treasures. Looking at the manner in which man and technology have progressed in the past century, the eminent explorer, adventurer, Thor Heyerdahl, whom we saw, the guy who made the reed boat and traveled across the Pacific, and he says that borders I have not seen any. They say there are borders, but I have not seen any borders, he says, though he has navigated so much, you know. So he says progress is man's ability to complicate simplicity. We say we are progressing, developing. We can also put development there. Progress and development is man's ability to complicate simplicity. There is beauty and clarity that comes from such simplicity that we sometimes do not appreciate in our thirst for intricate solutions. We'll just take a look at a small video. Simplicity, another beautiful thing is, I mean, simplicity is making the journey of this life. Simplicity is making the journey of this life with just enough baggage. Not too much, too many things.